everybody, and welcome to the Lonely Boy Hour, the only podcast where it's Halloween all year round. I said it in the last episode, I'll say it again. It's still true.
Is it? Because it's almost,
It's still
Christmas.
Halloween.
Is it? I think we've had 2 holidays in between. Kelvin? Did you die or did I die? Hello? Kelvin? Oh, hi. I hear you. Hi.
Hello. I don't know why, but my mic just decided to, fuck up, and I had to go into the system's settings and change it.
Oh, I thought I was going to have a solo episode. Just me.
Just Zoe.
Just all
the
by
episode.
myself. Just this lonely, the real lonely boy.
By myself. That's a real missed market I did. I didn't make the Lonely Boy Hour be only me. The loneliest boy hour.
The loneliest? Oh, it's just me again. Hi, welcome to the only podcast where both of the hosts have technical issues at different times, and the one who usually has uncontrolled technomancy no longer does. Has a beautiful new setup, and the other one is struggling. Oh, welcome back, Elvin. Hi.
You've taken away my powers, and I don't know why my mic keeps muting itself. And I need to figure out what exactly is happening so I can figure out how to make it stop happening. Because this can't be the in and out Zoe show.
I mean, it could be though. That's what the people demand.
Why not? Why is it not the in and out?
This is just my show now.
Is that what people want? I feel like people already think it's your show.
When Mike was like, I'm going on Tragedy show, I was like, yes.
Oh, so context, we have a future guest, Metro Mike.
Yes.
And when I mentioned it in one of his live streams, I was like, oh, rumor has it you're coming on my podcast. And he goes, no. And I go, oh. And he goes, oh, I'm going on Trazi's podcast. And I'm like, yeah. That's me.
Yeah. I'm the co-host.
That was my idea. I did not say that, but I gathered the Zoe for the podcast. That was me. It was all me, baby.
It's a good turnaround from people thinking that it's Connor's podcast, though.
Yeah, see? Honestly, I'd rather them think it's your podcast than Connor's, because at least they're halfway right.
Right, they're partially there.
Oh, jeez. So, anyway, guys, we went on hiatus. I don't know if you noticed.
No, they didn't. They absolutely did not notice at all.
They're going to look at their feed and they'll go, wow, that was the longest 2 weeks of my life.
They have no concept of time. None.
Our followers, our devoted fans, our cult that we've created in the name of the Lonely Boys has no concept of time. We destroyed all their clocks so they wouldn't know.
Exactly.
We also destroyed their phones, so they have no way of listening to the podcast.
No, we just stopped time altogether so that they wouldn't notice the difference. Yeah,
but only for our fans. So everyone else has been living life normally.
Right. All of our fans are just a month behind.
Yeah, it's just they're getting hyped for Halloween, and we're like, oh, buddy.
Oh, that's
because that was right before our episode. We did a Halloween episode. We recorded a Halloween episode.
We did. People sent in their Q&A.
Corrupt. I know. We should answer those, right?
Should we? Do they still exist?
I didn't delete the channel. Let's see. Let's answer a few of them, not all of them.
Okay.
So our first question comes...
Wait, before we do that, do we want to talk about what we've been doing? Where we've been?
Oh, have you been doing stuff?
Do we want to start with that? I've done some things, yeah.
Tell us about your things and your stuff.
Yeah, so some people know this, but I quit my job in Buffalo.
I knew that.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me directly because we don't talk outside of the podcast, but I heard it through the grapevine.
For people who don't know, Kelvin and I were only friends during the podcast. That's the end of it.
That's why we talk about each other like we never know what's going on. I'm not putting on a character where I don't know what's going on with Zoe, so they have a reason to explain it. I genuinely don't know what's going on or where I am right now. I think I'm in my house.
Maybe. You're not in the closet, though.
I am not. I felt like going back and protest because we are now at a little under our Patreon goal for me getting out of the closet.
I mean, what's a few dollars, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's no difference to you. You don't collect any of the money.
I know. That doesn't mean anything to me.
Every month I get all of the excess after I pay off the podcast in nickels, and I'm just building a pool like Scrooge McDuck, but out of nickels.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. Anyway, so I quit my job and I'm back in Michigan. I'm living with Haley again. And I got a new PC set, so I dropped, $3,000 on a brand new custom built PC and like all the bells and whistles, and I'm gonna.
Oh, only $3,000. What a cheapo!
I got that dead dad money though.
If you if you want Zoe to get a $4,000 gaming rig, feel free to. $4,000. I think for $4,000, I agreed to quit my job and do podcasting full time.
Listen, that's what I'm doing for the month of this month, December, and all of January. I'm basically doing Twitch and podcasts full time until I decide where I want to work. So
You're so much braver than I am.
I'm like, I have a savings. I have a savings now, so I'm like,
You got that dead dad money?
yeah, I got that dead dad money. So I'm like, I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna, do the things I'm passionate about. I'm gonna work on my book series and just see what happens. And if February rolls around and I've made $0, I'll go get a day job or a night job or something. Go work at a gas station like you.
You could go work at my gas station.
I could.
And then we could record the podcast in the break room that we don't have because I don't get breaks.
We can just record at the front.
Yeah,
while customers come up. Those can be our guests.
It's Welcome to the Magic Tavern, but it's just a regular old gas station.
Exactly.
Welcome to the Magic Tavern is a podcast about this. I'm kidding. There's no other podcast. But if it did exist, it would be a podcast. It would be a podcast where this guy like falls into the Forgotten Realms, or just like a fantasy place, and he still has like a Wi-Fi connection, so he's just doing a podcast where he interviews fantasy characters. It's that, except it's just regular people at a gas station.
Well, it would be if it was a real podcast.
Yeah, no, if we made one, that's what it would be.
Exactly,
we're the only
yes.
two people who make podcasts. And
right.
That's why I never say, oh, this person has a podcast. It's always, I was on their podcast. That's their only episode. They were only allowed to make one.
Yes.
It was just me.
Just that one.
Have you been on any other podcasts since we talked, or is this still your only one?
This is still my only podcast. I think Dadley J. Jenkins and I are gonna kick off ours soon. But no other podcasts. I have a few in the works that I'm like lining up that I'm hoping to like start recording in February, but we'll see.
That's I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
Because I have no other plans. I hope you know this is all I got.
I'm just trying, to be like, a social media person, and I'm really throwing myself into this Twitch right now. Really trying.
To be fair, fiscally speaking, this is the most successful project I've ever made, in the sense that it's actually profitable. Because I don't profit on TikTok at all. I
don't either.
Any money I make pays off the debts I did to pay for things I do on TikTok.
Exactly. Or for the cosplay materials.
Oh yeah. That reminds me, I'm trying to find it. I'm so lost. Because one of the questions we got for the Q&A was like something along the lines of what other projects were we working on, and we're kind of answering it, but not really.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we talked about was with my new podcast with Dadley J. Jenkins, trying to roll it into a bundle of like hourly productions.
Yeah, and that's like just just making our own little podcasting network, which sounds like a nightmare that I'll happily throw my hat into. Because I have some podcast ideas. I just don't have the time to do them. I don't even have time for this podcast.
That's a mood. I have a lot of free time now. It's like summer all
How does it
over
feel
again.
to be unemployed?
It's great. It's really boring.
I just worked 13 days straight. How's how you doing?
Yeah, it's boring, but it's nice. It's a nice break.
If you'd like to trade, we can. I work 62 hours next week. You'll be fine.
That was me before I quit my job. I'm a little nervous, I'm worried I'm going to get really bored.
This is how I advertise for the Patreon, is talk about how hard I work.
Yes. And versus me, I don't get any of the money, so.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm getting all the money.
Yeah.
And so that's good stuff. Do we want to start answering the questions?
Yeah, sure. Unless you have anything you want to talk about that you did during your hiatus.
Okay, let me see.
Our hiatus.
Oh, our hiatus.
Yes.
Let's see.
I meant it more like it's kind of like a vacation for you from the
I've
podcast.
I've prepared projects, but I haven't completed anything to show. Like, this is, I guess, technically the first official announcement I've made of it. But I'm working on an album of D&D background music.
Oh.
That's a project I'm working on.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's been fun. Because I do write a lot of my own music for D&D sessions, and some of that I think has gotten shown. I've done live streams of a few of my D&D like one shots, and so I was like, hey, it'll be a thing that that people might want, since I'm a composer and a D&D guy. Let's make a D&D album. And so that's a project I'm working on, but it's not even close to done. I've gotten 2 of the 10 songs I intend to make for the first album done, and that took the entire hiatus.
No, but that's really cool, though.
Yeah.
That's an awesome project.
And then I'm going to be in a lot of places. It's not another podcast, because other podcasts don't exist. But if there was one, if there was a D&D podcast called Adventures and Initiative, if that existed, I'm going to be in an upcoming arc. I think late next spring, I'm going to be on Sir Pfeffer's D&D show as a full-time character. And I think is in that guaranteed as well, but I'll ask him before I release this episode so I can censor out his name if I'm wrong. But I think he's going to be on that. Yeah, I'll ask him if he's going to be on it before I lie to the public and have to make an apology video. If he isn't going to be on and I bleeped out his name, everyone is going to be so confused right now, but we're going to roll with it. That's my favorite thing to think about. Like in that episode we did with Johnny where I censored the word. Now that we're on an explicit episode, I could say the word, but I'm not going to.
Oh, you got to keep that mystery.
Yeah, you got to keep that mystery. But I had censored a word, but it was like, oh, and then I said the word, and then Johnny goes, that's a swear word. And I go, what? That's a swear word? Wait, you mean blank is a swear word? And he goes, yes, there's just like a series of bleeps in there where no one knows what the swear word is. If that isn't top-notch Lonely Boy Hour, I don't know what it is.
It's quality content. It's what they're all here for.
Yes. But yeah, I have no major projects I'm working on outside of that. I'm always... like nothing. I'm technically working on one other thing, but it's a secret. I'm working on a special for 100,000 followers.
Oh,
because I am at 80 something.
That's awesome.
And I've been growing pretty steadily, because I'm the only one whose channel isn't dying on all of TikTok, I guess.
Well, Metro Mike's is doing pretty well too.
Yeah, Metro Mike is going places. Didn't we sign him on at like 100,000 followers, and now he's up to like almost 1 million?
I think we signed him on at 200,000.
Yeah, so like that's right in the range of some of our higher tier guests, and he is definitely about to be our most followed guest.
Exactly, yeah. Meanwhile, I've been sitting at 24K since June. And I get suspended from posting every like 2 days.
Yeah. So now that we're doing the famously nostalgic episode 10, the big 1-0.
Well, 9.
Is this going to be episode 9?
I have no idea. It's one of them.
Here, let me go look at our podcast feed, because remember how we have a podcast?
Oh,
and it's available publicly online, and you can just go look.
Oh, people can listen to our voices. That's right.
Yeah. What did you think we were doing right now?
Just, I thought that it was just two lonely boys sitting in a closet chatting about...
Neither of us are in a closet anymore.
I mean, you're right. I'm next to a closet.
I can see the closet I used to record in from here, but I'm not like in it.
But the art is a closet, and we're also the voice channel is a closet, so I'm not technically wrong.
We're kind of the Discord, the channel we record in is called The Closet. So,
yes.
Because we got to remember our humble roots in the nostalgic 10th or 9th episode. Find out soon.
Yes, our beginnings.
Our humble, remembering our humble beginnings. Our podcast has kind of improved a lot over we're on it. This is the big 1-0. So, but our podcast has improved pretty substantially even since we started, just because we kind of know what we're doing now.
Do we? Do we really?
I think so. Like I was listening back to the first episode the other day, and we did have some we just met each other right before we started recording energy, and now we actually talk back and forth.
Right. There's not so much awkward silence as there was before.
Yeah.
We know how to fill the gaps.
Yeah, we keep those gaps filled.
Speaking of filled, can
no.
we answer the question that Johnny Song posted? I know we answered it last time. I don't remember what the answer was. But
Let's
the question
answer again.
about the host's weights in Birdie Bots, every flavor beans.
I did the math last
did
episode.
do the math. Could
and
you
I
do the
lost
math again?
I will do the math so quickly your head's gonna
So
spin.
quickly. Speedy even.
And by
potentially.
that I mean that I'm going to just do a jump cut to after I did the math.
Perfect.
In the final cut. So I weigh 3,520 Birdie Bots every flavored beans.
Wow. How much do I weigh?
Yeah.
I'm 125 pounds ish.
You did not. You weigh exactly 2,000 Birdie Bots every flavored beans.
Wow.
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 Nice.
This is the rest of the podcast. Is just us saying,
wow.
wow. Wow.
Well, that's nice. I guess so that's I couldn't eat that many beans.
Well, yeah, because you tell me you can't eat your weight in beans.
I don't think I could actually. I can eat a lot, but I think that would be not possible.
Listen. Every good podcast host can eat their weight in beans.
Yeah, I'll have to try then. I'll have to
Listen,
buff
Zoe,
up those
at a
burden,
snap of the
those
finger, I
podcast
can
tips.
replace you.
Can you?
Yes.
I don't believe it.
You know, there are tens of people lined up to be
Tens of people only.
lined up to take your. I don't think anyone would want to take your place.
I don't know. I don't think anybody would have the gumption to take my place.
I don't think anyone I feel like if we just handed this podcast to anyone, they'd just be like, no, thank you, we're good.
Yeah.
Who is our ideal replacements?
I already said I would want to be replaced by Dadley J. Jenkins.
Okay, I think that's solid. I think Dudley and I could have some good banter.
And I think that he has the same energy as me some days.
So I need to find a replacement that could also banter with you if I left first, or banter with Dadley if I left second.
Yes.
I think it might have to be Taco, but I also like the preservation of a female sounding and a male sounding voice. So I'd have to find a female host. Which we've had one female on the podcast?
Two. We've had Gwen and we've had Short X Stuff.
I guess I forgot. Short X Stuff. I don't know if I could. I don't know if she could handle the podcasting life. I think it would eat her alive.
Probably. It's a tough world out here.
Yeah, it's hard out here for a caster. Let's see. I mean, I'm trying to think of someone who would be willing to replace. Mr. Pillowsuit, I think, would be a good guest, but he has his own podcast.
Wait, there's no such thing as another podcast.
Yeah, he has our podcast, but with him as the host and me as the guest. We were doing a cool, Freaky Friday episode. We even changed the name. It was crazy. The Unstitched podcast, which you should all go check out if you haven't checked out the Unstitched podcast.
There's no other podcast.
Only watch my episode. It's so great. We talk about lonely cow molesters and what else do we talk about? Whether or not it's okay to hate other races.
I'm thinking that that's not a podcast. We're the only podcast. Everything else is just a one-way auditory call.
Yeah, it's a call where you're muted.
Yeah, it's just a muted phone call.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
We put you on mute. That's kind of what we're doing now.
Yeah,
we have a Discord full of people, and we just we lock them out. We lock the closet doors. Speaking of Mr. Pillowsuit and his one-way phone call, Taco wants to know why Mr. Pillowsuit has the superior podcast. P.S. He's never listened to it. I wonder if he's listened to it now, because he posted that 2 months ago.
No, that would be betrayal.
Yeah, he would never. Never.
Mr.
Pillowsuit, if you're listening right now...
He doesn't listen to our podcast.
You should come back on sometime. You are a good guest, and you're the episode I recommend to people when I want them to hear the podcast.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I recommend the eHarmony episode.
That was a good episode. But
I like that.
I like, yeah, those are probably my two favorite episodes, Mr. Pillowsuit and the eHarmony.
I think Mr. Pillowsuit's one of the best guests we've had on.
Yeah, he's had great banter.
For banter and what is the word? content, you know?
Yeah. And that's what I recommend to people. Like, I had the fortunate fate of having, there's this podcast that doesn't exist, but I really like, called Snark Tank, where they like
Snark
look at
Tank.
they look at like weird and wacky inventions throughout history, and I
Oh.
really like it. And
In
I
theory.
had the if it existed, I would really like it. And I had a conversation with one of the hosts, and I recommended my podcast. And they complimented me on it, and it filled me up with all of the ego I'm gonna need for the rest of my life.
That's brilliant.
I was like, oh, you like it? Because they were, believe it or not, peek behind the screen. Before all the other podcasts died in the podcasting war of 2019 and left us the only podcast,
Yes.
they were one of the inspirations for this podcast. I really liked their conversations, and I was like, I like this dynamic. I want
Yeah.
this dynamic. And then I forced someone I didn't know to do a podcast with me.
I still love that this podcast started from a TikTok live stream where you were like, "You want to start a podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah." And
Yeah.
then
Well, then
like
fine.
a month later, we recorded our first episode, I think. Right? It was a
yeah.
bit of a turnaround.
Oh yeah, it was a while, but yeah, no, that's how it started because I worked all the time and I had no outlet for creativity, but the biggest thing I had for entertainment was I would listen to podcasts,
Yeah.
and I'd say the three that kind of got me going, I want to make a podcast, was Snark Tank. There's this podcast that I think we're the closest to, these next two were a lot closer to than Snark Tank. The Official Podcast is what it's called. It's kind of an interview style, shoot the shit podcast, a lot like ours. They do a lot less interviews than we do, but they do better interviews because they have Michael Reeves and we don't.
Oh, they have Michael Reed. Oh man,
They got Michael
That's my dream
Reeves.
guest. Remember?
Listen, we gotta.
my dream guest.
Listen, if you're a fan of us, you're a true Lonely Boy. I need you all to tweet at Michael Reeves and tell him to be on the Lonely Boy Hour.
Are we branching
will
out
not-
from TikTok creators now?
Listen, Michael Reeves can be the door.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
Listen, I want to aim big and say we need to get like The Rock, who is technically a TikToker,
Yeah, I bet we
or
could get him
Will
on.
Smith. Listen,
tried
let's get
hard
The
enough.
Rock on. Everyone if you could at Michael Reeves and The Rock and be like, hey, get on the Lonely Boy Hour. Just all of you. If you don't have a
Yes.
Twitter, go out there and make one right
Yeah, just
now.
make one just for and follow me.
Otherwise, you're a fake fan, and
Yeah.
that's just science.
Yeah.
Also, follow us. You can find me on Twitter at True Nude Dude. TRE.
You gonna spell it right?
Nope. TRUENOODDOOD, and you can find Zoe there too. I'm sure.
OG tragedy. Yeah.
I think
It's
I think I literally tweeted at you today, and I did not remember your Twitter.
Nice. Good job. That's why they have the at symbol, and you just at people you follow. See?
Yeah, I at
Big brain.
whoever I please. Look at us over here.
I have a
We
question.
answered. Oh yeah.
Are you wearing pants?
I actually am.
Whoa. Wait.
So I had
wearing
someone.
pants?
I know. So the context is that, and I realize I've not told you why I was running late. Which is
tell.
I was running late, and you're gonna be mad at me that this is why I was running late. But this morning I was supposed to watch the new Star Wars movie, and because of reasons on reasons on reasons, I kept having to push it back and didn't get to start watching it till almost 4 o'clock my time, 5 o'clock your time. And then I got home, and I play D&D on Sundays, which is the day we're recording this.
Yes.
And I asked my friends to pick me up, and they were very early, so they're sitting in my living room right now while we record a podcast.
Oh, I see. They are
Yeah.
very early.
Yeah, they are. We were supposed to start the podcast at like 6:30 my time, and then I was like, okay, we'll get done like around 7:30. So I told them that's when they were supposed to meet me, and then they got to my house at like 6:36. So I wasn't even home yet. I got a text on my way home that they were already there.
Well,
So they
was
they
it
are
was it
sitting
worth
in my
it?
living
Was
room.
the movie
They're-
good?
So my hot take is I hate the title. I hate the
Okay.
title so much.
Valid.
I'm
I
trying not to
agree.
spoil the movie. Have you seen the movie?
I've not.
Okay, I won't spoil it, but the name really irritates me now that I've seen the film. It already kind of irritated me. But I think a lot of the effects are really good. This whole new series, the visual effects have been pretty top notch.
Yeah.
I I liked the way they portrayed Palpatine, like in every scene for the most part. They wouldn't like have a light of some sort shining directly on his face. There would just be like lightning in the background that would just illuminate parts of his face, and I really liked that. But overall, the story was okay. It was an okay film with some pretty good effects and some good like visual choices. Is my full on hot take.
Okay.
My hot takes aren't that hot. I'm usually like, oh yeah, I'm never like, this is the worst thing known to man ever.
I mean, that's valid. Just gotta, there's either good or there's like lackluster.
Yeah, I would give this film like a solid 7 out of 10. Like it was all right. It was pretty good.
So
I
10
enjoyed
being
my time.
good, right?
10 being like a perfect film.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, maybe I should go see it. I've been like debating on whether I wanted to see it in theaters or wait till it came out on
I watched the other two parts of the trilogy in podcasting. I watched names. I watched the other two parts of the trilogy in theaters. So at this point, I figured it was going to look weird if I tried to watch it on a TV screen.
True, that's true. Look different.
I've been spoiling myself for the last few years.
Splurge.
Splurge on that podcast. Wow, I'm tired. Splurge on that film.
On that film. Did you get popcorn?
I did. I got the biggest damn bucket they had in the building.
I like to buy the like metal buckets so I can take it back to my apartment and not use it ever.
Oh, I like to get those like paper buckets so I can, throw them away when I'm done and forget about it because it's popcorn.
Yes.
It's not that big of a deal.
I usually get the bucket and then I get the second refill as I leave and make it into caramel corn.
Oh, what a nerd. Why do you get the metal bucket? If you're not going to use it ever again, why don't you just get the paper one?
Yeah, it looks nice. And I tell myself,
do you look at it?
I tell myself I'm going to use it. And I use it maybe once a year. And then I never use it again. Like,
is it a holiday for you? The metal bucket day?
Yeah.
Every
special movie night.
Every March 5th is metal bucket movie night.
We've made a holiday.
We've made two holidays.
Get your metal buckets. The other holiday is close to March too, isn't it?
Yeah, March, April, May. So yeah, there's 2 months apart. We need to plan a holiday for every few months.
I'm here for that.
Yeah. We need to find our candle nights.
Can we release holiday music for our holidays?
Official Lonely Boy. I've thought about, and I need to look up how legal this is. I thought about doing some remixes of our theme, and I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. Like I'll redo our theme that we have in like a holiday theme, so I'll have it be like sleigh bells in the background and things like that.
I don't know if you can do that.
I paid for the license, but I don't think that means I get to own all the variations. I'm not sure how music. You think I would know how music laws work, and I don't.
No, you can't.
Fun
know
fact of the
everything.
day. I paid for the license for a Halloween song for our for our Halloween episode, and it didn't happen. So I'm just gonna I'm just gonna put 10 seconds of it right here. And I'm just gonna edit that in later, just so I can feel like I've used it, Because
I love that.
Because I'm music licenses.
It's a little music break.
Yeah, just a little. Every now and again, people need music breaks. I'll put if we get a sponsor before I finish editing this video, I'll put that sponsorship in there. We don't have any sponsors. I was thinking about a few ways to monetize because I need more money so I can make a pool faster.
We must build a pool.
I was thinking about doing what I currently do for my normal social media for the podcast, where you can just pay to have us say something on the podcast. Because that's something I do. I've advertised people's art pages and stuff on my TikTok.
I'd be here for that. I'd be down for that.
So if you want to do that, feel free to email us at lonelyboyhour@gmail.com if you're interested in having an ad space on the episode. We don't know how much it's going to cost, but we'll talk.
Yeah, and you can choose who talks about it. if you care.
It'll be great.
Or we can just, both talk at the same time and you won't be able to hear anything.
Yeah, we'll just all at once.
We'll both write a separate script and chill at the same time for your stuff.
Yeah.
And then hope people can understand it.
Yeah, and I'll just include a link on screen.
Perfect.
But only for the audio only versions.
Yes.
It'll be great. No, but seriously, I have no problem advertising to just like people.
Yeah. Shoot your shot, people.
Yeah, if you want, listen. We don't have that many fans, but what we do have is devoted to an unreasonable level fans.
Yes.
Like, I think our biggest fan, undeniably, OSR Deadpool. Like, his
love
Twitter
Deadpool.
icon is our merch.
Oh,
he
yeah.
donates so much money to us. Like,
He's fantastic.
he is amazing.
Do you want to pick another question from the list?
Yeah. Let's find something useful. Let's see.
Useful. Not that your questions are useless. But
Let's find. Well, a lot of these things don't work as questions. Like, how do you feel about this GIF? And I can't do that in audio.
I got a couple good
medium. What?
What kind of socks are you wearing?
I am sockless, baby.
Oh, are you? I'm wearing
Yeah.
a Sunday sock and a My Day sock.
Okay, can you please say that in a way that is in English?
My socks have days of the week on them. And one of them says
Okay.
Sunday, and one of them says any day, or my day, I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking through this. This is a horrendous nightmare, this question segment. At one point, Johnny shilled the podcast in our Discord server.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to this. If you answered... okay, here's the context. The question was from Grisney89, our old pal Grizz. And he goes, do you like podcasts?
Yes.
And then Taco says, are you wearing pants?
Yes.
Then Johnny goes, if you answered yes or no to either question, you should check out The Lonely Boy Hour, now available wherever podcasts are distributed. Check out our latest episode where we loosely interview prominent TikToker and snack daddy, Dirty Taco.
I like the loosely is in parentheses when we all know that it really is loosely interviewed.
Yeah, we don't interview like in the way I think people think of the word interview. You get to know people because you get to know us very well between just us two on this podcast, and we get someone else in there. Like, I mean, listen, I didn't even vaguely know what Short Stuff's personality was until they came on the podcast, and now people get to know that.
Yeah. Just, we're just confused about who it is we're inviting on until they're invited on.
Yeah, we usually don't know who our guest is until the episode starts.
That's a big mood.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, we have so many guests lined up, and for the most part, we know that they're gonna be on at best like a week before they're on.
Yeah.
That's like best case scenario.
I think it's hard too because we were juggling three people's schedules, the guests, yours, and mine. Now it's a little easier because we'll be juggling yours and theirs, and I'll be free pretty much any time now.
Yeah. Which my schedule's a nightmare. I don't know if I mentioned I'm working 62 hours next week. So we're not recording next week. We'll have to record the week after.
That's all right.
Because that's just not happening.
When do you plan to line up this for next week?
I would like this to be out not tomorrow, not the 23rd, because I cannot edit the podcast by then.
Valid.
But the week after, so we'll be starting the new year lonely.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love starting out the new year lonely. Do you have a New Year's resolution planned?
I do. I would like to spend my New Year's resolution is to spend the next year trying to actually think of a New Year's resolution I can actually manage and not give up on. So that's my resolution.
It's a rolling resolution.
I'm making a resolution that's an investment in my resolution future. What about you?
Yeah, the standard, get into shape, eat better, try to make money on, doing nothing and sitting on my couch.
I've been doing that.
Just the standard stuff, like not having as many existential crises every day. Standard resolutions that people have.
That started so standard. Yeah, you're getting better shape. Stop fearing for my own existence every moment of every day, all the time.
And also, don't not be depressed anymore.
I don't know. Okay, I was gonna say
that's I was going
I
to say
should've-
something off the wall, like, and maybe murder a few people, but
Listen,
we'll
just
see
a
what
couple.
happens.
I don't know. I'm thinking about murdering a few people in my D&D game tonight. I'm thinking about it. I say that only because I'm not sure if the people in the living room can hear me or not, and I'm the DM tonight.
You just got to throw a few dice and not tell them what they're for.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I invented the the scare the players all the time method. Because that's I make a lot of DM tips that I don't actually do, but every now and again I'll say something that's so simple and I do it all the time. Like I 100% ask my players extra questions to get them afraid.
I love that.
So like people go, yeah, oh, I guess we'll like hole up in here and do a long rest, and I go, okay, and you're just leaving the door unlocked, like.
Yep, I like to
Nothing's
go.
coming. Nothing's on its way.
I like to say, do you look around the room?
No.
And they go, I roll perception. I was like, there's nothing there.
Yeah, good for you.
Just add a little bit of
Listen.
chaos.
Oh yeah, I fucked with one of my players the other day because they didn't catch a secret door with their passive perception, and I'll never tell my players to roll a perception on their own. They always have to choose to roll a perception. That's one of my rules.
Okay, so you rely heavily on their passive perception then,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I keep everyone's passive perception in front of me, and I rely on that because like they would be naturally using their passive perception.
Right.
I'm never gonna be like, okay, roll a perception. You hear someone walking in the background because they're not active unless they actively are listening for that. In which case, I would have had them roll a perception before that exact moment. They're not gonna think to be listening around. So
That's
I'm not
smart.
gonna have. Yeah, that's my actual DM tip for the day.
That's smart. Hey, anybody listening, if you want Kelvin to, run a one shot for a podcast, you donate to our Patreon at patreon.com/lonelyboyhour, and we should have guests on, like maybe Johnny Song and Taco.
You literally named the two people we've already had as guests.
I know, but or Metro Mike might be interested in doing a one shot. Like just throwing some people in there. Maybe Jay the Fae.
You meant for D&D. I thought you literally just meant for this podcast.
No, for a D&D podcast one shot.
Yeah,
Because we said we wanted to do a trial one shot on the channel
Yeah.
first.
Because if that did well, I'd have no problem if I had more time. Because a D&D podcast takes a lot more editing than this podcast does.
Right.
I gotta worry about music, which I'd probably have to write on my own. So that's why it would definitely be something like I would have to be making enough money on social media to at least be only a part-timer at my real job. Not that this isn't a real job, but I'd have to be able to actually take the time to edit the podcast down, get rid of all that unnecessary stuff that isn't feeding into the story. I'd have to add music, just all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'll just show up with a character sheet and a character voice.
Yeah, so I will be basically one-manning two podcasts in which Zoe is also there.
Yeah. Speaking of, since I have my new PC, the wonderful thing about this PC is it can actually run my animating software properly.
And you're going to upload the animations that you did a
Yes.
long time ago.
Yeah, so the animation should be coming out for the New Year's.
Yeah,
At least,
so look forward to
yeah,
that.
it's
I've
gonna be
literally
good. It's gonna be
never
on the
seen it,
YouTube.
so...
No, yeah, I'm not showing Kelvin first. It's just going to show up and y'all are just going to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's what I do with extra episodes of the podcast. I just throw in episodes that I recorded with only me and a guest, and Zoe doesn't know about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Zoe doesn't look at the feed. It's not like she listens to our podcast or anything.
Oh, never. Not when I'm driving the car. Not when I'm, sitting in my
Okay,
apartment
let's be
alone.
real. How much have you listened to our podcast?
I've probably listened to every episode 2 or 3 times.
That's insane. I've listened to every episode at least twice, but that's counting editing it.
Right. Which makes sense. No, I just like to go back and listen because it's like an experience of listening to a conversation you have with friends.
Oh yeah,
for
and
like
don't get me wrong,
nostalgia. It's wonderful.
I've listened to I went back last week. I listened to the Mr. Pelosi episode, the Fido episode, and
You
the
love the Fido
eHarmony
episode.
episode. It was just the first episode, and the eHarmony episode, just because I wanted to make sure I had my juju back for now that we're back. I wanted to make sure I still had it in me.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
wanted to make
you got
sure
it.
that I could still grab Thor's hammer,
Yes.
I was gonna say, speaking of which, and start talking about Endgame like that didn't happen like so long ago. Endgame
so
came
long
out
ago.
in like Endgame came out in like March of last year.
Really?
No, yeah, because
Wow.
I knew it came out in a month that began with M, and we started the podcast in May, and I'd already seen it by then. So yeah, it had to have been in March, I think. I'm so wrong. I'm probably incorrect, but we'll see. Maybe it came out
It
in
feels
May.
like it has not been that long, but I can't even, this morning feels like decades ahead to me or behind to me, so.
When you don't have a life, you lazy freeloader.
I know. I mean, I'm not freeloading, but
I'm expensive loading.
no, it's good.
Listen, these loads are expensive. That sounds inappropriate.
These days just meld together.
Yeah, I wonder what that's like.
Oh man, it's time.
Listen,
The grass is
Zoe,
not greener on this
Are
side.
you looking for a gas station job?
You know,
I think you have a future in cashiering at a gas station.
do you think so?
Yeah.
I was thinking more like I don't know, online transcriber, maybe
No,
third
no.
shift
Listen.
baker.
No, hear me out. You're missing an opportunity here. It's great. You can have customers yell at you for things that are so obviously their fault.
Like or like complain about the price of lottery tickets.
Yeah, like someone watches my.
Oh, I watch your TikToks all the time.
I feel so bad because I don't
Don't watch
watch
mine.
any. No,
Don't watch my TikToks.
I do kind of.
Don't.
Oh, too bad. I do what I want. Don't know what to do.
Show what to do.
I don't listen. Like, I don't watch anyone in particular. Like, hey, did you go see my TikToks today? I'm like, maybe. Because I don't go to anyone's channel in specific and just start watching their videos like on a regular basis. I just go down my following page and we'll
Right.
see what happens.
And just see who pops up. Have you seen my Stacy videos?
I've seen them before. I have not seen new ones if you have them.
No, I haven't posted. I've been on suspension for 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Everyone
then-
else but me
And then
gets
2 weeks
in trouble
and
constantly.
then 2 weeks before that, I was also on suspension for 2 weeks.
How on earth do people do this? Like,
Um,
I say so many swear words and so many controversial things on a app where you're not supposed to talk about politics. It's literally in the community guidelines, and I've never been suspended. I've never had a live taken down ever.
See, my first one. Okay, the one that it started for was the first suspension that I had this recently. Was about a Stacy video, which I couldn't be upset about. I was like, yeah, fine, whatever. Stacy videos, y'all don't like it, it's fine. But the most recent one was because I made, that audio that goes, why does it smell like Fireball in here? And then it's like, that's cinnamon, you fucking alcoholic, I did that
Yeah.
audio, but I made a marijuana joke over top of it, right?
Oh, jeez.
And they took it down, and I was like, I responded like, this does not violate your guidelines. This is the same kind of joke everybody else is making. Underage kids making that joke about alcohol. Like, it's legal where I'm at. It's legal in most of the states now. So like, and they were like, no, we're not taking it down. And also, you're suspended for 2 weeks for posting that. And I was like, there are people showing, domestic violence and all these things, but I get suspended for 2 weeks, which is fine. Like, it's their app. They can do what they want. But it's really been making
thank
it
you for
hard for
that.
me to put videos up, because what's the point of me making videos if nobody's gonna be able to see them, or if I get punished for posting them? So I'm like, in
I
this
made a
weird
video
space.
about that.
Did you?
And I kind of. So TikTok openly admits to censoring content that they don't like, not
Right.
censoring that's illegal. They just don't like it. And some of those things include even like LGBT, for example. Like, they've
Yes.
been open about doing that.
They've been honest.
Yeah, and I appreciate that from them. But what grinds my gears, Zoe, what really gets my goat, dearest Zoe, is the people who rant about it very angrily. And I made a video where I was like, okay, listen, yes, you guys are upset because they are doing something fucked up, and yes, they are, but you're not gonna do shit about it, because people don't. They just want to complain. They're not gonna, like, the correct thing I think to do is, if someone is if you are morally against something you're supporting, it should be to stop supporting it. But no one who's making these rants is quitting TikTok, because everyone is desperate for attention, and this is where they're getting it.
Right.
Like, I called everyone out. I was like, listen, everyone on this app wanted to be TikTok famous, and it didn't work.
No,
So here we are.
I feel that too.
Yeah.
I just I mean, I can't be mad at TikTok really because it is within their rights. I'm
Yeah,
more
they can do what they
so
want.
I'm more so upset that I guess what I'm upset about is that there's this double face of it, right? Like they're not censoring everyone the same way, which is
Oh,
what
yeah.
gets me. You know, I'm like, if somebody who has, you know, is verified and has 1 million followers, they're not going to get a 2-week suspension like I did for that kind of joke. It might get taken down, but they wouldn't get suspended, which is
Oh, yeah.
where that gets me. Is I'm just like, at least be consistent if you're going to
Yeah.
be censoring this stuff, you know?
What you're getting at, the problem is that you're ignoring here is that there is like popularity contests are like that's what social media is, especially to the people who own that social media, because popular creators make more money for them. Like YouTube openly admits that they don't monitor channels like Jimmy Fallon as much as they do normal creators. Twitch, like they ban people all the time for sexual content, but then they have like titty streamers who don't get touched. Like everyone does this, and it's not something, unfortunately, that is going to get fixed by switching to a new app.
Right, and that's why I'm like, I'm not leaving TikTok, but I think that if it continues that, like, no matter what I'm posting, because the variety of stuff I'm posting keeps getting me suspended. At that point, I might just stop posting videos because I enjoy the app a lot. But if I'm going to be suspended every 2 weeks, I might as well not post videos consistently and only post once in a while, because then I'm less likely to get, like, the stuff that I'm posting is going to be less likely to get reported. You know, that's kind of where I'm sitting with it.
My schedule is more consistent than it's ever been. Because like when we started, I still didn't like draft videos. So I would just post every video. I'd like do like 15 videos one day, and then I wouldn't post for like 4 days, and then I would do another 15 or whatever. And so now my schedule is a lot more consistent because when I record videos, I post 2 a day. Everything else that I make just sits in my draft pool and I release it over time. And so I'm consistent for once, and I've actually seen a lot of growth because of it. And that makes me happy.
That's nice. No, I'm happy for you. I'm glad. I'm glad, and it's great that people are growing. That's really awesome. I don't use drafts anymore just because I figure that as, like, you know, my stuff gets reported or taken down so often now that having drafts is really pointless for me, because I post and have my videos will disappear even if they're not.
Yeah. Also, like, you appear to be using TikTok a lot more for fun than I do.
Yes, I'm not making a business out of it, but that's how I've been with most of my social medias.
I'm kind of making, like, I'm using it as a stepstone, but it's only because it's something I enjoy. Like, obviously I didn't start TikTok with the idea of getting famous at all. Just because, like, you know, I even had Musical.ly, I had Vine, I've done YouTube. None of that ever worked, and I didn't think it was going to. I just had a lot of fun doing these fun little lip sync videos, you know? And then I started yelling, and then everything went uphill from there.
Right. Once you start raising your voice.
Yeah, I'm not innocent. Like, I also want to be famous. Everyone does. It's an internal, whether you realize you do or not. The idea of constant attention is appealing to anyone. Like, and so I'm guilty too of being like, oh, I want to be a famous TikTok. Like, I'm taking this chance, so I do put how can I, like, increase my growth into thought when I do make decisions for my TikTok. And I think most people do. Like,
I think you're right with that. I think you're right. I think for me at least, it's not so much that I want constant attention. It's more so that I wanted to prove that I can be, you know, entertaining.
yeah.
And I've proved that to myself. So.
And that mentality kind of shows, because, like, no offense, Zoe, when we started, I was at like 30,000 followers. You were at 15,000 when we started this podcast. Do I have that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's like 25 for you, 80,000 for me. Like, it does show, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think less of you because of your follower account, and I don't want you to think higher of me because of my follower account. Like, you're still going to be my co-host who, you know, doesn't do as much as I do for the podcast, but it's okay. That's fine.
I'm just the people pleaser.
Yeah, listen, I'm the brains, you're the soothing voice and the nice birthing hips.
Yes.
I mean, look at my hip. I actually, I don't have, like, I have kind of good birthing hips.
I got those podcast hips.
Yeah, you got those podcast hips. That's our next merch item, those podcast hips. It's gonna
Yeah?
be a pair.
Is
It's
that-
gonna be a pair of like yoga pants, and it just says that across the butt.
I love that.
Podcast tips. Yeah.
Podcast tips.
I think I could actually make that a merch item. I don't know if I want to, but I think
That's
I can.
perfect. I'll buy some if you make them.
Yeah. I need to release more merch. Like I have stuff I could release. Like I want to do our icons.
I want a
as-
Fido and a Burtis poster. I need that in my life.
Listen. If
Oh,
you'd
I saw
like to see
Burtis.
that- Oh, you saw Burtis?
Yeah, Burtis is
Give us
still
that
here.
Burtis update.
Yeah, he's still here. He's really fat now.
Oh, good.
I saw him on my way to my car. I can tell who he is because he has a shorter tail than the other squirrels. I think I mentioned that in one of my videos a long time ago.
Way back.
Yeah, way back. Doesn't even exist anymore on my page. Been purged. But yeah, I saw him. He's doing well. He seems to be pretty happy. I don't think he remembers me though, because when I went to go say hi to him, he kind of looked at me for a second and then went up in his tree.
No, thank you.
Yeah. He's like,
That's-
I don't really want your attention right now.
I'm already making Star Wars. Like a droid says that when someone tries to touch it, it just like backs up and says, "No, thank you."
I love that.
Yeah. We should probably wrap it up. We're coming up on the hour mark.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I have D&D to play, but also we have a podcast, so that's always the thing. It's been so long since we chilled. I'm gonna go look at the cheat sheet. We have a
the
cheat
pi-
sheet.
the
Sorry to be
pin-
transparent on y'all.
Cheat sheet. No, we are transparent. That's what we do. The new outro. I think your mic got muted again by chance. I don't know how to do this, but I can try. So we have a voicemail. I don't know if we have any voicemails lined up. I'm sure Kelvin will tell me when he comes back. But if you want to support our podcast and potentially get us to do a one shot on the show of D&D, you can support us at patreon.com/lonelyboyhour. BOI, not BOI. You can also send us hate mail, legal threats, and anything else you want to send to our email at lonelyboyhour@gmail.com. Please send it to gmail.com. They love to get all our mail. You can find me on a bunch of social media sites, and I'm sure you can find Kelvin there too. So Twitter for me is OG_TrashZ. I've got Instagram, which is TrashZ. TikTok, which is TrashZ. Oh, Kelvin's back. Hi, Kelvin.
No, you keep going. You keep going. I'm loving this.
And Twitch, that's twitch.tv/TrashZ. Do you have your shill, Kelvin?
Yeah, so I have a lot of things. I'm all over the place. I don't know if you guys know this. I have a TikTok. That's the Noodle Doodler. You can find me on most social medias as True Nude Dude with 2 O's instead of UDs. Sorry, U and then an E. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
True Nude Dude, as in Noodle Doodler, not Naked Man. You can find me actually on Twitch. Is the only annoying one because I keep forgetting to change it. Is Kelvin Noodles, KelvinNoodles. I stream on there sometimes. I'm getting ready to start doing a Pokemon Emerald Randomizer Nuzlocke, which is a lot of words, and you'll have to watch for me to properly explain it.
Oh, that's exciting.
Our
to tune in.
Our theme is Happy School by Joseph Falkenskuld. I don't remember who wrote the Halloween song, so I'm just going to edit it in now. Now it's time for this. And edit. Oh God, I can't now. Unfortunately, you forced it into the plot, you monster.
No, it's there forever.
Anyway, it's time for our song recommendations. Oh, do you have a song for us? today?
Yeah. Mixing it up, adding some variety to our already various playlist. I've got some angry music. We all need some of that in our lives. It's called "The Depths of Despair" by Anger
hot.
Fist.
That is hot.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's your song recommendation, Kelvin?
You think I would have thought of one.
You
but,
think
let me-
that we've done this 9 times
so,
prior?
Lately, yeah, maybe. We've technically done it 10 times, like
Yeah.
11 times, because we have two missing episodes.
That's true.
But I guess I've been jamming lately a lot to Novocaine by the Unlikely Candidates. So that's a good song. Yeah, I
That's a good
recommend
song.
it. Yeah, you're a good song. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming, and make sure to get yourself tested.
And hydrate.